Tuning into the video. Today we're going to be shooting on all the different ways to cheat on Red Dead Redemption 2 for the Xbox. Now I felt like someone had to make a video on this subject. It just seems that there's so much misguided information out there right now. There are quite a lot of areas to cover, so hopefully I don't miss anything out. Please feel free to make any suggestions in the comment box below, as I'm always looking to expose all the different ways people can cheat. And first of all, we're going to be looking at Cronusmax, which is of course a small USB device that you plug directly into your Xbox. And for the purpose of this video, we're going to be getting help from Outlaw Max and my own character, Destiny. And first on the agenda for the Cronusmax script is trigger reflexes. Now what this actually means is you don't have to pull all the way down using LT or RT. In the Cronusmax script, it cuts the time down completely, making the triggers even more sensitive. And what this actually means is that whenever you're playing someone that's actually using Cronusmax, they may appear slightly quicker on the reflexes than yourself. However, if any of you guys owns the Elite controller, you'll already know there's a setting on this that also cuts down the time, leaving the open question to whether this method of Cronus is actually cheating. Now moving on, it's time to look at the myth behind auto headshots. If anyone says to you that there's a script that automatically targets the head perfectly, they're absolutely lying to you. It does move the cursor up towards the head, however, you are much more likely to secure a headshot by practicing. Moving on, we're going to be looking at Jitterfire. Now, as you can see, he looks like a complete idiot. But one positive thing about Jitterfire is there's no more Lancaster spam, so you're unable to fire rapidly, but if you do still want to look like a jerk, just change your settings and spam the A button. Now, moving on to auto run. This one, guys, is pretty self-explanatory. All you need to do is press forwards and the rest is history. However, unless you're on your horse, there's really no other benefits to this. Running around like this in PvP will most likely get you killed. At least with my character, I can control the pace. And as some of you guys are probably aware, controlling the pace is very, very important. Moving on to the next part, we're going to be looking at the crouch run. And this one for Cronusmax pretty much works exactly the same as the auto run does.
Squat jogs, yeah?
Yeah.
Down.
A bit lower.
Safeties, mate.
Alright, man.
Now you can accomplish the exact same thing by going into settings and turning on the toggle to run, and holding the A button when you're in crouch. It will do the exact same thing that Cronusmax does. Now as you guys can see, some noob decided to start shooting at me for no reason when I'm trying really hard to be very professional. This local posse leader has taken a disliking to me. Now against my better judgment, I would normally turn the other cheek, but in this case I decided to suit up anyway and destroy every single one of them. But after killing them a few times over, some of them decided to parlay with me and some of them decided to press charges, which was actually quite hypocritical since they started it and all I did was lay the smackdown. But don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say I'm the type of person that harbours things, but these guys definitely had it coming. But sometimes it can be beneficial on Red Dead Online to let off a little bit of steam every once in a while. I mean, it is the Wild Wild West after all. Now moving forward onto the next part of the video, we're going to be taking a look at something called the TONIC glitch. As you can probably tell, not a lot of people are doing this without the use of Cronusmax. It's certainly something that's very fluent when using Cronusmax. However, I did try to practice this repeatedly with my character Destiny, just using a standard controller. Now, you can glitch tonics pretty simply, and you can get very good at it. I definitely seem to be suffering from camera shy, but unfortunately, I found this very tedious and very boring, and certainly above my pay grade. Anyway, after spending quite some time trying to pull a tonic out my arse, it was getting pretty obvious at this point that it just wasn't going to happen. Pissed off just wasn't the right word. To be quite frank, I'd rather have a horse fall out the sky directly onto my face. Now, moving away from that, we're going to be looking at auto painted black. Now, this one's a pretty simple one. As soon as you press LT to aim, Deadeye automatically comes on for Cronus users. However, as you can see, having to press the button for Deadeye doesn't really make any difference. It's just as quick. Now, this one will make you laugh. It's the auto duck and spin. As you can see, it's quite self-explanatory. He looks like a complete... And just to be fair, why would you even want to move like this? I mean, it's absolutely stupid. I'd prefer just to move normally, but for the purpose of this video, I decided to give it a go with Destiny to see if this can be achieved. I certainly had my work cut out for me, as you can see, but this is just simply not something that can be achieved as easily. You're left with trying to spam the A button, spam the LT button, and pushing in L3 and trying to land headshots on your target. As you can see, eventually it kind of does look like I'm getting the hang of it, but why would you even want to? The whole point of doing this for Cronus users is to be a hard target that people can't headshot. But thanks to the Elite controller with the back panels and all the different accessories that it comes with, it's like having two A buttons, two X buttons. My movement remains incredibly fast, my aim is fast, similar to being on Viagra, and this is the perfect choice for me. So in my opinion, Cronusmax is a waste of money because it doesn't actually do anything for you that you can't already do with a standard controller. Now, I know some of you guys are going to be asking the question to why people are saying that Cronusmax can do all of these things for you when it's the exact same dumbass things that you can do with a normal controller. Now, if I got exceptionally good at any game that's out there right now, done some slick moves, some fancy turns, and then I say, well, Cronusmax is responsible for it, what's that going to make you guys going to want to do? Ask yourself the question, why do these guys have YouTube channels that brand themselves a cheat? Now, take a look at this guy, for example. This guy has a YouTube video and he absolutely swears that Cronusmax will automatically headshot kill people, offering you the opportunity to buy a script that you can download absolutely free from the Cronusmax website. And as you can tell, this is him I'm fighting right now, and any minute now he's going to be using those slick Cronus auto headshot moves. Oh wait, he's dead. Oops, that went in the script. Just goes to show standard movements work just as well. He's clearly doing it just to sell a product. But moving on to a personal favourite of mine, it's the lag switcher. This one is the biggest pain in the arse I've ever come across. But as you can see, you can get it as a foot pedal, you can attach it to the back of your control pad, or just attach it to the side of your face. All you need to do is the second you come in contact with someone, you just push and hold the button, hold it for around about 2 to 3 seconds, and guess what? You're not in the same place that your opponent thinks you're in, therefore giving you the upper hand on your opponent and gaining the victory. Now, why do people want to do this? Because they have mental health issues, and for some reason these people want to make out they're better than they actually are. But why would they want to do that? Well, where I'm from, that's called overcompensating for something. Or in layman's terms, they've just got a small. As you can see, shooting this guy is a complete waste of time because he's not operating in the same time zone that I am. And if you look closely, out of absolutely nowhere, I'm dead. But I decided to play possum by going AFK for a few minutes, and when he thought I couldn't see him, he stopped lag switching, and so he took a shot to the face. Now, on to the next subject, it's the victory cheat. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be asking me, what on earth is a victory cheat? When you're slugging it out in a PvP showdown series, and you're gunning absolutely everybody down, and you're top of the scorecard, the last thing in the world that you'd expect to happen is to get robbed. Now, I don't mean to state the obvious, but quite clearly I'm in first place, but the individual that's come second here, for some reason, completely removed themselves from the game, as if somehow their reputation was on the line. Now, for the absolute life of me, I couldn't understand why someone would want to take a game this seriously. But I decided to get dressed up like Batman and follow this individual around to see if it was a regular occurrence. Now, whether I came first, second, third or fourth, it was quite clear that if this individual did not win the match, they carried on removing themselves from the game when there's only a few seconds left. Now, sore loser kind of springs to mind, but why would somebody want to do this? Well, quite clearly they care about what other people think of them as a superior gamer. And when their gaming rep is on the line, they very much care about what their friends think of them, when in actual fact, they just got their ass beat. Now, when I had a few minutes to sit down and think about this properly, I kind of thought to myself that this can't be the only high-level player that's actually doing this. And when slugging it out in another PvP showdown series, it came to my attention when I was nearly 50 points clear of anyone else on the board, yet another high-level player that decided to do the exact same thing. Now, as you can see, I'm quite clearly demonstrating the bush monkey. Now, I'm just waiting for my opponent to fall into the trap, and this high level player here thought he'd have one more attempt at winning the game, but unfortunately he was impatient. He fell for the trick 100%, got himself killed. There he is on the board in third position, but make a wish and say a prayer. One tonic later, and once again Destiny gets shafted because they've completely disappeared. Now, it's quite clear to me why people lose their shit, and if we all had this same mentality, there'd be no one left on the board. But luckily enough, I know exactly how to turn the other cheek. Life goes on, for example, and there's no point in getting rolled up about it, and eventually you'll only end up taking it out on someone completely innocent. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I tend to use Marcel as one of my coping mechanisms. The man's a doctor, seriously.
I have seen the new recipe. You provide the ingredients.
What would I do without him? The man is a calming influence. Now, the last thing that's going to be on the agenda is the off-radar cheat. This moron has glitched himself off the radar, so you can't lock on him, you can't paint him black. In fact, there's not much you can do because he's going to go into any PvP or any free roam event with a full sniper build, knowing full well that no one can lock on him and he can't be detected on the radar. So this is one of the worst types of cheats you can ever expect to come across. If he was any good at the game, he wouldn't need to do this, but unfortunately he sucks. Anyway, I won't be covering the Carcano Rapid Fire because it's been covered in so many other videos. You can do it with Cronusmax and you can do it without Cronusmax. It's still very much a glitch. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more content. And don't forget to leave a comment on what you think about Cronusmax and lag switching and the current state of Red Dead Redemption. Also, why you guys think that Rockstar have put nothing in place to fix this. In the next video, we're going to be taking a closer look into Shootout series, but until then, thanks for watching.